snowfall, gusty winds and locally higher seas, and potentially waterspouts. Local temperature reports around San Francisco Bay for 12 p.m. Downtown San Francisco was 55 degrees. Oakland Museum was 59 degrees. Redwood City was 57 degrees. These are the noon Pacific Standard Time observations for the San Francisco and Monterey Bay areas on Thursday, February 1st. At San Francisco Airport, light rain was falling, temperature 55, dew point 47, relative humidity 74%, west wind at 6 miles an hour, pressure 29.70 inches and falling. At Oakland Airport, light rain was falling, temperature 54, dew point 46, relative humidity 74%, southeast wind at 5 miles an hour, pressure 29.71 inches and falling. At San Jose Airport, it was partly sunny, temperature 57, dew point 48, relative humidity 72%, southeast wind at 8 miles an hour, pressure 29.71 inches and falling. At Santa Rosa, heavy rain and fog were reported, temperature 55, calm, pressure 29.68 and falling. At Concord, it was partly sunny, temperature 58, south wind at 8. At Livermore, it was mostly sunny, temperature 57, southwest wind at 6. At Monterey, it was partly sunny, temperature 58, southwest wind at 10, pressure 29.72 and falling. At Salinas, it was partly sunny, temperature 58, dew point 50, relative humidity 75%, calm. Here are some observations around California and western Nevada. At Mammoth Lakes, snow was falling with a temperature of 32. At Truckee, fog was reported with a temperature of 36. At Reno, it was partly sunny with a temperature of 48. It was cloudy with a temperature of 58 at Sacramento, 53 at Los Angeles, and 33 at Blue Canyon. At San Diego, rain and fog were reported with a temperature of 56. At South Lake Tahoe, snow and fog were reported with a temperature of 34. Sunrise, sunset, and tidal information for the San Francisco Bay Area for Thursday, February 1. The sunset tonight, 5:33 p.m. The sunrise tomorrow, 7:13 a.m. The sunset tomorrow, 5:34 p.m. Tidal data at the Golden Gate for the afternoon and evening hours today and the morning hours of tomorrow. High tide, 3:56 p.m. at 3.58 feet. Low tide, 09:06 p.m. at 2.16 feet. High tide, 4:10 a.m. at 5.37 feet. Low tide, 11:11 a.m. at 1.41 feet. Here are the buoy observations for noon Pacific Standard Time. At offshore buoy 6 winds northwest at 25 knots, gusting to 35, water temperature 55, pressure 1006.8 millibars. At offshore buoy 59, winds west 17 knots, gusting to 25, water temperature 59, pressure 1004.8 millibars, seas 15 feet every 15 seconds. At Point Arena buoy, winds south 6 knots, water temperature 55, pressure 1003.8 millibars, seas 16 feet every 15 seconds. At buoy 13 near Bodega Bay, winds southwest at 4 knots, pressure 1004.8 millibars. At Point Reyes Wave Rider buoy, water temperature 57, seas 17 feet every 14 seconds. At San Francisco Bar buoy, water temperature 56, seas 15 feet every 15 seconds. At San Francisco buoy, winds southeast 10 knots, water temperature 57, pressure 1006.3 millibars, seas 15 feet every 13 seconds. At Lovers Point Wave Rider buoy in Monterey Bay, water temperature 57, seas 9 feet every 13 seconds. At Poinsett, Wave Rider buoy, water temperature 57, seas 18 feet every 15 seconds. At Cape San Martin buoy, wind south at 6 knots, water temperature 58, pressure 1006.1 millibars. Here are the coastal observations for 12 p.m. Wind speed is in knots. The wind at Point Reyes was south-southwest at 5 with gusts straight. The wind at Montero Beach was south-southwest at 5 with gusts to 14. Synopsis for the Central California coast and bays including the Monterey Bay, Greater Farallones, and Cordell Bank National Marine Sanctuaries, westerly winds continue to diminish with scattered showers and a few storms possible throughout the day. Large westerly swell at 15 to 16 is arriving and cause hazardous conditions for small crafts through the end of the work week. More widespread rain and gusty conditions return this weekend. The marine forecast for San Pablo Bay, Suisun Bay, the West Delta, and the San Francisco Bay north of the Bay Bridge. West of today, southwest winds 5 to 10 knots. A chance of rain early this morning. A slight chance of thunderstorms. A chance of showers this afternoon. For tonight, west winds 5 to 10 knots. A chance of rain and a slight chance of thunderstorms. For Friday, west winds 10 to 15 knots. A chance of rain. For Friday night, southwest winds 5 to 10 knots. A chance of rain. For Saturday, southeast winds around 5 knots. A slight chance of rain. For Saturday night, northeast winds 5 to 10 knots. A chance of rain. For Sunday, east winds 10 to 20 knots with gusts up to 30 knots. Rain. For Monday, southeast winds 10 to 20 knots with gusts up to 30 knots. Rain likely. Winds and waves higher and near thunderstorms. The coastal waters forecast from Point Arena to Point Reyes out to 10 nautical miles. Small craft advisory in effect through late Friday night. West of today, west winds 10 to 15 knots. West swell 14 to 16 feet at 15 seconds. Showers likely early this morning. A slight chance of thunderstorms. Rain likely this afternoon. For tonight, west winds 10 to 15 knots. West swell 14 to 16 feet at 15 seconds. A chance of rain and a slight chance of thunderstorms. For Friday, west winds 10 to 15 knots. West swell 12 to 14 feet at 15 seconds. Showers likely and a slight chance of thunderstorms. For Friday night, west winds 10 to 15 knots. Wind waves 0 to 1 feet. West swell 12 to 14 feet at 14 seconds. Showers likely and a slight chance of thunderstorms. For Saturday, southeast winds 5 to 10 knots. West swell 11 to 13 feet at 14 seconds. A chance of rain. For Saturday night, east winds 10 to 15 knots. Northwest swell 9 to 11 feet at 14 seconds. A chance of rain. For Sunday, east winds 15 to 25 knots with gusts up to 40 knots. Wind waves 7 to 9 feet. Northwest swell 4 to 6 feet and south up to 2 feet. Rain. For Monday, southeast winds 15 to 25 knots with gusts up to 35 knots. Wind waves 7 to 9 feet. Mixed swell northwest 2 to 4 feet and south 7 to 9 feet. Rain likely. Winds and seas higher and near thunderstorms. The coastal waters forecast from Point Arena to Point Reyes 10 to 60 nautical miles offshore. Small craft advisory in effect through late Friday night. West of today, southwest winds 10 to 15 knots. West swell 16 to 18 feet at 16 seconds. Showers likely early this morning. A slight chance of thunderstorms. A chance of rain this afternoon. For tonight, west winds 10 to 20 knots. West swell 15 to 17 feet at 15 seconds. A chance of rain. For Friday, west winds 10 to 15 knots. West swell 14 to 15 feet at 15 seconds. A chance of rain. For Friday night, west winds 10 to 15 knots. Wind waves 0 to 1 feet. Northwest swell 14 to 15 feet at 15 seconds. Rain likely. For Saturday, south winds 5 to 10 knots. Northwest swell 13 to 14 feet at 14 seconds and south around 2 feet at 16 seconds. A chance of rain. For Saturday night, southeast winds 10 to 15 knots with gusts up to 25 knots. Northwest swell 11 to 13 feet at 14 seconds and south around 2 feet at 16 seconds. A chance of rain. For Sunday, southeast winds 20 to 30 knots with gusts up to 45 knots. Wind waves 8 to 10 feet. Northwest swell 6 to 8 feet and south around 2 feet. Rain. For Monday, southeast winds 15 to 25 knots with gusts up to 35 knots. Wind waves 8 to 10 feet. Mixed swell northwest 5 to 7 feet and south 8 to 10 feet. Rain likely. Winds and seas higher and near thunderstorms. The coastal waters forecast from Point Reyes to Pigeon Point out to 10 nautical miles. Small craft advisory in effect through late Friday night. West of today, west winds 10 to 15 knots. West swell 13 to 15 feet at 16 seconds. A chance of showers early this morning. A slight chance of thunderstorms. Showers likely this afternoon. For tonight, west winds 5 to 10 knots. West swell 13 to 15 feet at 16 seconds. Rain likely and a slight chance of thunderstorms. For Friday, west winds 10 to 15 knots. West swell 11 to 13 feet at 15 seconds. A chance of rain and a slight chance of thunderstorms. For Friday night, west winds 5 to 10 knots. Wind waves 0 to 1 feet. West swell 10 to 12 feet at 14 seconds. A chance of rain. For Saturday, south winds 5 to 10 knots. West swell 10 to 12 feet at 14 seconds. A chance of rain. For Saturday night, east winds 10 to 15 knots. West swelling to 10 feet at 14 seconds. A chance of rain. For Sunday, southeast winds 20 to 30 knots with gusts up to 45 knots. Wind waves 8 to 10 feet. Northwest swell 4 to 6 feet. Rain. For Monday, south winds 15 to 25 knots with gusts up to 35 knots. Wind waves 7 to 9 feet. Mixed swell northwest 2 to 4 feet and south 8 to 10 feet. Rain likely. Winds and seas higher and near thunderstorms. You're listening to NOAA Weather Radio, WZ2504, broadcasting on a frequency of 162.475 megahertz from on top of Sonoma Mountain. This broadcast originates from the National Weather Service office located in Monterey, California, and serves the North Bay counties of Marin, Sonoma, and Napa, as well as the coastal waters from Point Arena to Pigeon Point, including San Francisco Bay. You are listening to NOAA Weather Radio, WZ2504, broadcasting on a frequency of 162.475 megahertz from on top of Sonoma Mountain. This broadcast originates from the National Weather Service office located in Monterey, California, and serves the North Bay counties of Marin, Sonoma, and Napa, as well as the coastal waters from Point Arena to Pigeon Point, including San Francisco Bay. San Francisco Bar forecast. In the deep water channel, mixed seas at 11 to 13 feet at 9 seconds. Across the bar, mixed seas of 15 to 17 feet at 9 seconds. Maximum ebb current of 1.7 knots at 8:48 a.m. Thursday and 1.2 knots at 9:28 p.m. Thursday. The area forecast for the peninsula, North Bay, and East Bay. High surf advisory in effect until 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time this afternoon. Flood watch in effect through late tonight. For the rest of today, partly cloudy. A chance of showers and a slight chance of thunderstorms. Some thunderstorms may produce heavy rainfall. Highs from the 50s to lower 60s. Southwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. For tonight, partly cloudy.